portion of our Week 5 Farm and Forest video series. Today we are going to talk all about chicks. But before we do, have you ever heard of the saying, which comes first, the chicken or the egg? Well, today it's going to be the egg. As part of our flock of hens, we collect eggs every day. We have 80 hens, 20 of those belong to Butler. Today, we're going to crack a couple of those eggs. And I'm going to show you a little bit about before the chick hatches. All right, well, today, as you can see right here, we have 2 fertile eggs. And if you come up close, you can see that when there's a shadow, where it's slightly paler yellow, about this wide, you can see it right there, and another one you can see right there. That is called the blastula. That is the fertile egg, the fertilized egg by the rooster. Now, if these eggs are either placed in an incubator at around 99 degrees, or a broody mom, which is a hen that wants to become a mother, they call her a broody, sits on those eggs for 3 weeks, then the chicks will hatch. Now there's something very important that the mother hen does, a couple of really cool things. One, she turns the eggs using her beak in a gentle tap under her belly 50 times a day. She also plucks out all her belly feathers so they get her body heat and stay warm, and there's a nice humidity level for when they're trying to hatch. Now we also have a program at Butler Montessori called Hatch a Chick, and we supply the incubator as well as the fertile eggs and all the materials you need to be able to be that broody hen. And you can hatch, and then families can hatch out their own chicks. So the chick we're going to meet later today is actually one of those chicks that was hatched out. All right, so also in the egg you can see that here we have the yellow yolk. We all know what yolks are if we eat eggs. That actually, it becomes the nutrients that the chick eats right before it hatches. So it doesn't actually need any food or water for at least the first 24 hours of its life. And the white you see, which a lot of people think are the chicks, the white is actually what makes the shell really strong and prevents it from cracking. It's kind of like fibers and stuff. So over here we have some of the materials that go into raising a chick. So you always want to think about your own needs: food, water, and shelter. So this is, and protection in the case of chicks. So here we have the water. It's a nice little water. When the chicks are just born, we put gravel about this size all around the bottom, and that way the chick doesn't accidentally drown because they're so tiny. Here we have feed. You can buy from the local feed shop, you can get a layer mix. We always go with organic feed, so we keep all the chemicals out of our hens and out of our eggs. And here we have what I call a clod of mixed greens. So we have clovers and grasses and chickweed, of course, their favorite. And most importantly, we have bugs up underneath. So this gets flipped, and they learn by, if you tap, your finger is the beak. They tap and they actually learn the behavior of pecking and eating. But they probably know it on their own instinctively, but that helps. And there's also in here little tiny pieces of stone, which is grit. Now if you don't have many of these clods, or if you want to be extra sure that they can get some grit, which helps grind up their food, then you can go down to your local creek and grab the kind of like the sandy rocky mix that's on the edges of the creek. And that is really great as what we call a supplement. Now here's another supplement, apple cider vinegar. I like to put this in their water just when they're born. It helps with any kinds of parasites, and it helps them to digest. So it's like a probiotic, kind of like how you would eat yogurt. Other things that you can feed them across the board, any kind of protein. They are omnivores. But when they're chicks, they need lots of protein, because just like you young people, they're growing and growing very, very fast. So any kind of protein, and then also we like to put molasses. If you ever have a sick chick or a weaker one, sometimes you do, you can give them an eyedropper full of molasses and water. It's like a jump start, and sometimes it saves their lives. Okay, oh, and I forgot to mention the shavings in the bottom. They do poop when they sleep, so it's really nice to catch those shavings as well as give them a place to perch. This right here is called a roost bar, and it will grow as the hen grows, but as the chicken grows, but you want them to be able to wrap their toes not all the way around, so it's comfortable and their feet form normally. If it's too big or too small, their feet might not form as they're supposed to. Okay, I think it is time now to go meet Daisy. I'm going to have a volunteer who's going to assist us in learning how to handle a chick. They are very, very fragile. Here's my assistant, Bridgette Downer. Oh, this is an outdoor enclosure that you can keep your chicken. It's made from Corex board that you can buy at your local home improvement store. You want to get in? And basically, you can tape it together or make slits and lock it in together. So here we have Daisy. And Daisy is actually just in her first couple weeks of life, and Bridgette's going to show how to pick up Daisy. Oh, nice and gentle. Notice how he holds the wings so she cannot fly away, but also making sure that he supports her. Yeah. So the best way you can learn about caring for anything is to observe it. So we're going to just take a couple moments, coming in close, to observe Daisy. Daisy has incredible eyesight, so she will see bugs that we have no idea exist. Let's actually bring her around here so you can get a better, closer look.
All chickens have an instinct for shelter because one of their greatest predators is actually predatory birds such as hawks and falcons. So she feels most comfortable in and among the weeds, sheltered. If their shadow crosses over, all the chickens will run and hide.
All right, so Bridgette, if you want to pick her up and put her in her cage, we can observe her in that environment.
Sometimes she's a little bit tricky.
So Bridgette and Daisy are playing merry-go-round. Come here, Daisy. There we go. All right. There we go. Now we can observe her in her more unnatural environment, but this is where she's safe and spends a lot of time. Now, there are some really cool facts that you may not know about chickens. I thought I'd share them now. Chickens are the most closely related living organism to the Tyrannosaurus Rex. If you can imagine these birds, the wild fowl of the tropics, working their way as a flock through the understory of a tropical rainforest. So you can imagine the numbers of fruits, seeds, and nuts and bugs that are on the forest floor of a tropical rainforest. It's producing all year round. They are the cleaner uppers, and they'll do that if we give all our food scraps to our chickens. They will go through, scratch, break down, eat, and basically clean the forest floor. So that's an interesting tidbit. I believe there are more chickens in the world than there are humans, so they are quite plentiful. The largest egg weighed 12 ounces, and chickens can recognize 100 different faces of animals or people. So just a couple of fun facts, and thank you for spending time today with Daisy, Oshin, and I, and I'll look forward to seeing everybody next week. Take care.